Okay. What's going on, everybody? It's Hollis Full of Love, CEO and founder of Crane Financial. We're here with my man, Keith Moore, personal trainer. What you doing? How you doing, Keith?
Good, good. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me on, Hollis. I appreciate it.
Oh, for sure, man. We had to have you on. Keith is a very disciplined and unique person to me. So when everything happened with COVID-19, I know Keith was a personal trainer, work out all the time. Everybody like myself that was going to the gym daily was like extremely worried, like how are we gonna stay in shape? What are we gonna do? Literally like the next day of that first week of the social distancing and the staying place orders, Keith was posting videos to his YouTube page, giving like intense home workouts. I was doing them really, really tough workouts. And it was like, man, this dude really doesn't find anything that's gonna stop him. No obstacle is too big for him.
I think it's real important that people adapt to any situation that they're in. So it kind of goes back to when I first started working out. The reason I started working out was because I dislocated my hip
Okay.
in seventh grade playing football. So in order for me to be ready for basketball season, eighth grade year, because I was out, I had to learn how to walk again and everything.
Wow.
So in that situation, that's what started me lifting weights. I started going to the gym with my dad because I was like, look, nobody gonna feel sorry for me. If I wanna make the team next year, I gotta get stronger, gotta get bigger. So that way I don't get injured like that again because
Right.
I got hurt playing football, but it's because I was so small at the time. So I'm like, all right, we got to get past that. So I think it's important to adapt to any situation because life is always going to, throw roadblocks towards you. So like with this quarantine situation, I thought that was a great opportunity for people to realize even if you are in the house and you don't have equipment, there are still things you can do at home in order to stay in shape.
Right. No, most definitely. And that's crazy. You said as a junior high student, you took that level of dedication.
No, I was in seventh grade.
That's what I'm saying. Junior high, as a middle school
Oh, my
kid.
bad. Yeah, junior high, yeah.
As a middle school kid, you decided I was gonna dedicate myself like Michael Jordan. That's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And it's crazy because it was my best friend that actually injured me. He didn't do it on purpose, but he was in seventh grade, he was 5'10", 160. So
wow.
yeah, so I got a rude awakening, but I mean that's still my best friend to this day. So we was good, but that was like the start of it for me.
Okay. So you talk about like not letting any situation kind of fluster you or throw you off course. How do you manage it all? You're a married man, you own a business, you have your own other entrepreneurial aspirations as well, and then you also have a regular 9-to-5 career. How do you juggle it all?
Man, it's tough. I'll be honest because a lot of times in the past I would get to a point where I would feel like I was stretching myself too thin because I was trying to do a lot of different things. Like at one time, I was working like 4 different jobs on top of having my own business. So the thing for me that started to change like my mindset towards that is start focusing on what I really want to do in
Right.
life and stop just chasing money.
Yep.
Because like I was in a position where I was just chasing money. Not saying it's a bad thing, but if you focus on what you want to do and get good at that, then the money will come. But I was stretching myself too thin, trying to diversify in so many different things that didn't relate to one another, rather than doing things like, all right, now that I'm in fitness, let me do a YouTube channel about fitness.
Right.
All right, I enjoy sports, so let me buy sports cars and resell them. That's
Right.
not something that requires me to spend time outside of the house. Whereas in the past, I was doing something called Amazon Flex.
Right.
I was driving and delivering Amazon packages, but that was taking time away from home. Now, like with sports cars, I just do that right at home on eBay.
Right.
Buying cards and stuff like that. YouTube, I do that right at home. My training, that's online training, so that's stuff I can do right at home. And then with my job, prior to the quarantine, that's really the only thing that required me to leave the house work-wise. So now I kind of like narrowed things down a lot and focused on doing things that I actually enjoy.
No, that's real. That's real. I think a lot of us get caught up in just chasing the money of it all and trying to get to a certain dollar amount because we feel like it's going to provide us some sort of comfort or a level of happiness. But then you realize if you hit that amount or if you fall short from it, you realize like, man, I'm not enjoying it. You know what I mean? I remember at one point it was like, I got to get to this dollar amount. I got to get to, and I got there and I was still miserable. You know what I mean? Whether it was a monthly income amount or just having this amount in my bank account, I was still miserable. So I really like that you said you really took your time and you focused on the things you truly did enjoy. So we all know that you enjoy your fitness. Let the people know exactly what your fitness business is, how it's structured, and what is the goal of it all.
Okay, so right now I do online personal training. I also have a YouTube channel where I show different workouts, my meal plans, as well as transformations. Now, as far as like my online training goes, I usually connect with somebody via like a FaceTime, talk to them on the phone in order to find out what their goals are. And then I usually do an 8 to 12 week program with them. And then if they want longer, then that's fine. But a lot of times people will say, well, I want to do, 12 weeks, get ready for like my birthday,
Right.
holidays or something like that, get ready for the summer. So then along with that, I also provide them like instructional type videos on how to perform the exercises that I recommend for them, because the whole goal of my online training is I want people to learn how to still manage this even when they're not working with me. I
Right.
don't want them to get off track, by after 12 weeks and then week 13, they're back to their old ways.
Right.
That's my whole goal for, educating them. And then that's the reason why I do YouTube, because I tell people like, look, before you hire me as to give you like your custom meal plan and custom workouts, check out my YouTube channel so you can see that I'm not just talking about something. I'm
This is
actually
what I do.
practicing what I preach. And
Right.
I also compete as well. So I actually did I did one show so far. I'm probably gonna do another one this year. So
Mhm.
I did my first show in 2016 and I got second place.
Wow.
And then 2 or 3 months after that, I actually ruptured my Achilles playing basketball. So that's why I had to take some time off from competing, because, an Achilles injury, that takes a year to heal
It
from.
takes professional athletes a year to heal from.
Right, exactly. And I don't have professional athlete money for those trainers and stuff.
Right.
So it took me time to, build some size back in my legs, because I wasn't able to do anything on that one side for pretty much an entire year. So that's what my personal training business entails. And then in addition to me doing like the online training, I'm actually looking to make a transition into working with like boxers and stuff,
Right.
because I'm really into boxing. So one of the things that I notice is a lot of times boxers cut weight, but they don't really take the right approach to it. They're
It's not
just
a healthy approach.
exactly. They're just trying to lose like 40 pounds in 10 weeks
Yeah.
or something like that. And they're draining themselves. So they're losing a lot of strength and muscle in the process. So I'm actually trying to, make my transition to working with fighters on their nutrition.
Okay. Okay. Do you think that the discipline that you've developed just from personal training and your own physical fitness has helped you in your professional life and in entrepreneurship as well?
Yeah, for sure. So it's crazy because like you don't realize it until other people start telling you like, man, how do you do this? How do you stay so dedicated,
Right.
to the grind and stuff like that? Because for me, it was always like second nature,
Hmm.
because I know it's impossible, but I try to be a perfectionist in everything I do.
Oh, I could
So,
tell. I could tell.
so when I work out, like when I'm competing, yeah, it's fun, but I want to win. To me, all right, I got second place, but second place is the first loser.
Right.
So
Yep.
I apply that to everything in life. So even in my corporate job for my role that I'm in, I want to, exceed expectations
Mm-hmm.
just because I hold myself to a high standard. And the reason I do that is because I know other people that do that. So
Right. It's pushing
relationship,
you.
right? Like Kobe Bryant is my favorite athlete of all time.
Same, same.
So it's him and then Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
So I, I study other great people and then I kind of try to adapt that same mindset because I believe that anything that you work hard towards, you will be successful with that. I mean, unless it's something like I can't go be in the NBA or NFL or
Right.
something like that. But as far as like the training goes and then my corporate job, if I put in the work and the effort, then the sky's the limit. And I think that's something that everybody should apply. So I just believe in hard work, really.
No, man. It's knowing you and having that relationship with you. It really it shows in everything you do. Just even communicating with you, you're very strategic. You're very disciplined in your communication, and then you see the results. Like I know recently you just did a weight cut. You dropped about 12 pounds.
Yep.
Yep, and like most people are gaining weight in this period of time, and you show a nice, healthy, mature way to go about losing that weight. You didn't do anything drastic. You didn't do anything crazy. It didn't seem like it was too tough. So it's astounding to me to have that much discipline in every facet of life. You know what I mean? Some people they might kill it on the corporate level, but when it comes to working on their own business, they'd be like, I don't have the energy for it. Or they might kill it in everything professional, business wise, but in terms of their own physical fitness, it's like, I don't have the energy for it. I admire the amount of passion and hard work, dedication, and discipline that you approach every facet of your life, man. That's it's great.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Oh no, it's love, it's love. So talk about some of the other things you've been involved in, right? So we know you have your personal virtual training business, and you also have YouTube for that, which is kind of two of the same but two separate entities, right? And
Mhm.
then what else have you been involved in?
Okay, so when I lived in Chicago, I live in Florida now. By the way,
Right,
I've been out in Florida for a little over a year now. So when I was in Chicago, I did something called Turo,
right,
and that's where you rent your cars out. So I had two cars that I was renting out, and I was doing that just as passive income. I got an LLC, and then so that way I was protected in case anything happened
right,
from a legal standpoint. So I did Turo for a while, and really the only reason I stopped was because I moved to Florida, and I don't live near an airport. So with me working, in the corporate world, I can't just leave my job to go drop off my car to someone, or if
right,
something happens, I don't have the same flexibility that I had in Chicago because I live right by Midway Airport in
100%.
Chicago. So I could just tell people, all right, well, just come by the house, pick up the car, and then I'll catch the train downtown. So that was very good. But looking at it now, luckily I got out of Turo because with the quarantine, that hit a lot of people who rent their cars out. That hit them
Right,
hard because people weren't able to travel. So then it was like, all right, because if my wife and I didn't move to Florida, I was going to get more cars.
right. You was gonna be double down on Toro.
Yeah, I was just going to keep going in on Turo and then see, how far that took me. But that was one of those talks I had with myself, like, all right, I'm really going all in with the fitness thing. I need to be somewhere where it's warm all year round,
Mm-hmm.
where the large majority of people love working out
Right.
because I hated getting up and going to work out in that Chicago winter.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah. So I hated that. So the Turo was a thing. I mentioned I did Amazon Flex, which you just pick up packages and drop them off at people's place. I did that. And then, so once I stopped doing that, got out to Florida, something I recently got into was sports car investing.
Right,
So I like to invest as well. I started first investing in stocks in college.
right,
So and I continued to do that. I started investing in cryptocurrencies back in like 2016, late 2016, early 2017. So investing is like something I'm very passionate about because, we had the money talk earlier. Don't get me wrong. I still do like making money.
Right. Who doesn't? Yeah.
Exactly. So with the sports cards, it's actually very similar to the stock market with the way the market moves, but I'm actually able to invest in players that I like or that I know about. So like I can get a LeBron James card, which has been going crazy due to this The Last Dance
Right.
documentary that just finished. Basketball cards have been going crazy. So I have been seeing people talk about it coming back for like the past year and a half, but I didn't really go back, get into it. And then at the beginning of this year, I started paying attention. I'm like, okay, the market is starting to go crazy right now. So I started just getting on eBay, going to sold listings, and then buying cards below, the market value, and then just been flipping them that way just on eBay.
Man, it's crazy. It's remarkable how you've been able to find alternate sources of income and have more than one source of income outside of your job through all these different avenues, man. Like it's an amount of creativity you have to be able to go and do that and be fearless to approach it. Because I know, like, we got a basement full of trading cards at my parents' house, right? My dad was buying them up all through the 80s and 90s, and I didn't think they had any value, right? But seeing you go through, I was like, okay, let me do a little bit of research and see if there's anything in here that might be worth some money. Because he had given up on it all. I guess it was really big in the 80s and 90s, but he has
Yeah,
a
and
bunch of them.
yeah. Then a lot of those people that were collecting in the 80s and 90s, a lot of them have gotten back into the hobby now.
Right.
And a lot of the people that I follow, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm back in the hobby now, but I've been pretty much focused on that from an investing standpoint because my returns with that have been greater than my returns, in the stock market. So, so far as of today, I just updated my information.
Right.
Returns like the past 3 months on sports cards is like 60%.
Right. Can't beat that. You really can't. Stock market ain't giving you that much.
Right.
At all.
If it does, I need somebody to let me know what stock, giving them that.
Bro, we got to call Rich and Rome for that one.
Right, exactly.
No, most definitely. So what do you think might be the next, whether it be, continue to expand your training business or continue to expand the content you put into YouTube? What is going to be the next ventures for you? What are you looking towards the next thing?
So next up, what I'm looking to do is I'm trying to really get established in like a corporate setting for educating people on the importance of, their fitness,
Right,
overall health, because I think that that's something that goes very, very overlooked in the corporate environment because
100%.
people are constantly, ordering food at the office or going out to eat and things like
Drinks.
that. Yeah, but it's like why can't we start going to work out together and stuff like that? Or it doesn't even have to be going to the gym, just doing something that requires you to be active. It could be going on a walk, rock climbing, hiking, something. So I really want to start trying to find a way to get into like corporate settings to be able to kind of share my story, but also tell people the importance of health and how it can even increase your productivity at work. Because
100%.
that's one of the things, going back to what you asked me earlier, like how am I able to, do so many different things? And I attribute that a lot to the lifestyle that, I live. Now I still enjoy myself. I still, have drinks here and there.
Right.
But I do it in moderation. It's not something I do every day, but that helps me stay sharp and stay productive, just having, a healthy lifestyle.
Man, it's like I said, the amount of discipline and knowing you and seeing it, whether it be on YouTube or on Instagram or Twitter, just seeing you do it all, it's like, man, how does this guy have enough time in the day? Like, honestly, that's how I feel. How do you have enough time in the day?
And then my wife, I'm glad that she like enjoys fitness too, because
Right.
so like before the gyms closed, when I would need to go to the gym when maybe she couldn't make it or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
she was like, okay, cool, I'll see you when you get back home, because I know a lot of people, they struggle in that category because they'll be like, well, my wife don't want me to go to the gym,
Right.
something like that, or my wife doesn't like cooking anything or anything like that.
We ain't got to get into it. We don't want to slander nobody's wife.
But yeah, so that's like a huge help for me, because we know like the eating part is major. So
Right.
like my wife helps me big time on that end, because I'm not gonna lie, I can't cook. I can't cook. I can make some of the very basic stuff as we get more advanced. So my wife helps me a lot in that situation as well.
And approaching it all, whether it be a fitness and getting involved in these other businesses, and like again, juggling your personal life, juggling having a real career. What has been some of the biggest obstacles for you? And I only ask that because the way you approach it all with such a positive mindset and a positive attitude, and you actually see results every time you go out to do something, you know what I mean? Like, that's tough to do, man.
Yeah, and I think let me think on this, because I have such an optimistic mindset.
Right.
So the negative, I try to always ignore it. But one of the things for sure was when I was stretching myself too thin, like doing so many different things at once, that was affecting me, because I wasn't getting a lot of sleep.
Right.
I'm still working out and stuff, but I wasn't maximizing my full potential. So I'll say that. I'll also say another thing would be trying to make too many other people happy,
Right.
and trying to please other people versus doing what I want to do. So that's why I was like, all right, we after the wedding, we gonna focus on moving to either Florida or Texas, because
No state taxes.
right, no state taxes, we can save more money, and we'll be somewhere warm.
Right.
No matter what month it is, I can go outside and do something if I need to. So I think, those two things, stretching myself too thin, and then worried about other people's expectations of me and other people's thoughts, because that stops a lot of people from, making that initial jump. And that was one of the reasons why it probably took me so long to start my YouTube channel, because I was like, man, people who are more advanced than me would be like, man, what is he talking about?
Right. They think they the one think you not verified, or you don't have the credibility. 2 is like, well, what if I'm not getting a bunch of views at first? That's a huge thing. So it's a lot of different. And with social media in itself and the way everything is so publicized and people only broadcast wins, it's really hard to just stay focused and stay in your lane and run your race and understand where you're trying to get to, as opposed to being distracted by everybody showing all the flashy things they have and what they've accomplished. You got to really understand. I'm glad you said that. You really have to understand what's for you is for you, and you have to be focused on getting to that point. My mom used to always say, it's not where you start, it's where you finish, right? So from my standpoint, seeing what you're doing, I can see you are building your empire, and you plant those seeds to grow, and you'll have a forest soon enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
No,
Yeah, with the YouTube thing, like, I mean, even my channel now, I don't get a lot of views, but it's like, I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram or nothing.
Right.
But my goal is who can I help? How can I help? If I can help one person, I can have one view on a video. But if I help that one person who viewed it, I'm good.
Right.
I'm not in it for, the fame or nothing like that. I'm trying to help people live a better life.
It's real morality behind it. It's a real mission behind it. But the thing is, because you've already had that avenue in place and you've already set a tone of consistency and you already know how to deliver that content, it only takes one thing to change. Anything can happen. One shift in the matrix, one video you post may go viral. Now your whole channel blows up. Now your business blows up, right? Now you'll have accessibility to do all the other things you want to do, whether it be making corporate partnerships. It'll all be in place. And I think people need to understand that when you approach yourself from an entrepreneurship standpoint, you got to really plant them seeds, and you got to really work with it. You can't really expect the tree to bear fruit day one. It's gonna take time, and all you can do is do the work. Like you said, have that right mindset and go after it. Everything else is gonna fall in place the way it's supposed to.
Right, right. Yep. 100% correct.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you for taking the time and talking with us, man. I know you're a real busy man. I know you're a real busy man. But let people know how they can get in contact with you if they want to get right. They want to tap in and get in shape. How can they get in contact with you? How can they start working with you? Or even just to get to your YouTube page. How can they reach you?
Okay, so for my YouTube channel, you can subscribe to my channel. It's Keith Moore Jr. You can reach out to me there, or you can reach out to me on Instagram as well. My Instagram tag is Keith_Moore Jr. I'm very responsive. I read all the comments, read all my messages. And then on Facebook, I actually have a fitness page as well. And
Okay.
it's just More Grind, MOORE space grind. And if you want to cop merch, I got merch as well.
Most
More.
definitely.
So that was another thing I forgot to mention. I
Oh
got
yeah.
merchandise as well. So I got tanks, shirts, wristbands, the whole nine. So still diversifying, just being a little smarter with my time now.
But it makes sense and it fits into what the ultimate vision is. It fits into what you're doing. It fits into the fitness. It's not like you got to do something totally brand new to have merch for your business. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then you look at maybe the people that do what you do at the highest level, they got merch, they got their content that they put out to their followers, and they also have like the one-on-one experience, which is paid at a premium. So you setting up the right way, bro. The success is coming. It's done.
Hey, bro, thanks for having me. I really appreciate that. I applaud you for everything you're doing, and I really enjoy,
Appreciate that.
these train conversations. Like this is dope what you're doing, man. This is really gonna take off.
No, I appreciate it, bro. I mean, in a sense, it's really something that you was doing as well. You opened up when you had your Toro, right? When you was explaining exactly how it worked and how you went about it and what money you were making to lose it. People need to understand the work, the sacrifice, the discipline, the wins, the losses, all that comes into entrepreneurship so that they can break down those barriers and they can be able to go after themselves. Sometimes people learn from hearing and seeing other people do. And understanding the situations that they were in. Because somebody in your position, right, like I said, you got a million things you have to juggle on the regular day-to-day life, just in terms of being married, being young and married, living in a different state than the rest of your family, and then also having a career outside of just trying to run a business. You know what I mean? That's for a lot of people, they might feel like, hey, I can't do that. But seeing that you're doing it and at the rate you're doing it at and the amount of discipline and focus you have with it, that might tell somebody I can do it too. And that's the whole purpose of this, man.
Right. Yeah. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah. This is, yeah. I'm loving this. I'm loving.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. It's love, man. Thank you for your time.
All right, bro. Have a good one.
You too.